changes.
Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to my channel, and again, another one bites the dust. I told you guys I would update you. Official, I think Friday/yesterday, JCPenney's the newest retailer to file for bankruptcy protection. So before we get too far into it, that doesn't mean they're going out of business yet. It's a pretty good sign when companies this large file and close this many stores that they may not last. We saw it with Toys R Us. We're seeing it with Macy's. We're seeing it with Sears, two other large retailers that may not make it another year. They were already in big trouble, of course, then C-19 happened and they're in even bigger trouble. I saw some of the numbers that when they're closed, their valuations are cut in half. Like just throwing numbers out there, if your company's worth $10 million and all of a sudden it's closed for even 2 or 3 months, its valuation is immediately, you're worth half or worse, $5 million. So that's how big of an impact just the last 2 to 3 months have had on them. And we all know how bad they were struggling before this. So let me tell you about this update. This was from Saturday, May 16th. Today's Sunday, May 17th. So JCPenney's files for bankruptcy protection. Now remember, that doesn't mean they go out of business right away, but they are going to close a lot of stores. They have just over 800 locations. Previously, they had closed close to 200 over the last 2 years. They were up around 1,000 locations. So if we assume that they're gonna close another 200 or 300 locations during this bankruptcy, they're gonna go from 800 down to the 500 or 600 range, maybe even worse. They might be cut in half, we'll have to see. They haven't announced yet all of the stores. Remember, it was founded in 1902, so this is a 118-year-old company with 85,000 employees. There's already too many people without jobs, right? All kinds of unemployment, all kinds of people fired, laid off, furloughed, whatever. You're talking about 85,000 additional people, at least half of those, 40, 50,000 that could go down. Now they have $500 million of cash on hand, liquid, and commitments of $900,000 to financing them, $1.4 billion, but they owe billions and billions in debt. So that's why it's bankruptcy. They owe way more than they're worth. The bills are starting to be too much to pay every month, and they're never gonna dig out of it. So as we scroll down, now this was expected. Their shares are under $1 per share of stock. That's terrible. They were way up here and the stock is way down here. So as you scroll down the story, which I'll link down below, this is from the New York Times, they basically in 1 year had seen 4.3 billion or 25% of its annual sales wiped out since 2013. In the last 7 years, in just one of those years, they lost 25% of their stock. And they say it's not easy to get a customer back once you lose a customer. Is that true? Tell me what you guys think down in the comment section. If you shop at a store and they don't have what you want or need, 1 trip, 2 trips, 5 trips, consistent basis, is it hard to get you back as a customer if you have bad experiences on one or the other? And this goes for any platform, be it Sears or JCPenney's or Macy's or even eBay, Amazon or Poshmark. Tell me about your thoughts on getting a customer back once they, the store hasn't done a good job. They also, remember, they did a 14-year relationship with Sephora, and Sephora basically can operate on its own in malls. A lot of them do. Our mall closest to us, the Sephora, is not in JCPenney. They sell their merchandise, but Sephora has its own standalone store. They don't need JCPenney. Sephora is really successful and really independent. Maybe when they started off, they were looking for a foothold, but Sephora's done really well for itself. You ladies spend a fortune on that makeup. I don't know why. But as I look at the second story out of CNBC, it says that JCPenney may actually turn some of their locations into a real estate company, which is pretty crazy because they want to basically spin off 35% of the company, make it real estate, that's their holdings, and then collect a rent check from the sales company, from the stores, to pay their own real estate company, and then they want investors to invest in that real estate company to get them money to use back in the sales store. This sounds like a bunch of like robbing Peter to pay Paul, not a Ponzi scheme, but you're basically just floating money around in circles. You're really not growing. The only thing that's going to fix this is sales. And they're not gonna outsell Amazon. They're not gonna outsell eBay. They're not gonna outsell these other stores. Malls are a dead, dying fad. It's over, we've said it before. And I just think JCPenney's, if they last more than 12 to 18 months, we'll just say 12 months puts us into summer of next year. If they make it through the end of 2021, I would be extremely shocked. Macy's, Penny, Sears, my guess is by the end of next year, 2 of those 3 do not exist. We already know 2 filed bankruptcy, probably 3. Really bad. So I'll link the story, New York Times, CNBC down below. Tell me what you think in the comments. I know a lot of you don't shop there. A lot of you probably never have shopped there, especially those of you that are in probably like the 18 to 28 range, 30 range, close to my age. I don't recall shopping at Sears, and probably since I was a teenager or a kid, my parents buying me clothes or going into Sears to buy like a washer and dryer. I don't even know if my parents shop at Sears. I doubt it. My dad used to buy like tools when they had Craftsman and all that. JCPenney's, I don't think we've ever shopped at. Macy's, I seem to remember like when Macy's got Polo and Tommy Hilfiger back in the 90s and 2000s. We shopped there, I guess. But again, I don't think we've shopped there in a long, long time. I really doubt it. And outside of my dad probably buying tires or tools at Sears, none of these stores have ever been in our rotation. So curious to see what you guys think. I'll link the stories. As always, thank you for watching. Appreciate it. Have a great weekend, end of your weekend, and I'll see you guys the rest of this week. Give the video a thumbs up. Make sure to subscribe to the channel for more updates, videos, news, and reseller-related topics. If you have any requests or anything you want to see in videos, as always, use the comment section below, and I'll be happy to read them and try to do as many as I can. Thanks as always. I'll see you next time.